And we are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a special Saturday edition of Backdoor Marketing with Jessica. I'm your host, Jessica, and today we're going to be interviewing Daniel Lyons, Chief Rolling Officer for Tyson Ranch. So that is super exciting. I see Daniel coming in right now, so I'm going to go ahead and give him a wave. So when you are ready, Daniel, go ahead, follow my finger straight up right here. There's a little drop-down arrow. Tap on that, and you will see request to join the live. I see a request, Daniel, coming in strong. What's up, Mark? Hi, everybody. I see everybody coming in right now. What's up, Daniel? Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, Jessica. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
I'm fantastic. So just to give everybody a little bit of a background here, Daniel and I have been in very frequent communication for months now. He has been extremely helpful with so many things we've got going on right now between Tyson Ranch and NUGL. Could not be more excited to have you on today. I know this has been a long time coming, but we're here. We're finally here.
Very excited to be here and excited about the promotion we have going on in the NUGL's Buyer's Guide and excited about some cool products we have to talk about as well.
So me as well. So that being said, for everybody wondering, I know we've gotten a lot of messages lately about what's going on with the Buyer's Guide, and just to give a little quick update, there's quite a few things happening right now with NUGL internally that we can't quite talk about yet, and that's about all I can say about it. But that being said, the Buyer's Guide's been put on hold, so to speak, for a short period of time because we have a lot of new things coming up. We've got some really big announcements, which will all be unleashed soon. In the meantime, Buyer's Guide is going to take just a little bit of a pause. That being said, Daniel, would you give us a little bit of background on yourself? Let the pretty people know who Daniel is, who you are to Tyson Ranch, all that jazz.
Yeah, so my name's Daniel. I'm the Chief Rolling Officer for Tyson Ranch. That kind of started out as a running joke 3 years ago when I was helping out, and I would roll so many joints for Mike that they started joking around and calling me the Chief Rolling Officer. My background in cannabis is I got my medical card like 10 years ago. Early in high school, I was offered an array of focus and sleeping medication for my ADD and the sleeping issues I had from the ADD medication. And I found cannabis as a natural alternative to that. And I really resonated with Mike's message at Tyson Ranch and why he's passionate about cannabis as well. And I'm very excited to be working at Tyson Ranch and in cannabis operations.
How did you get started with Tyson Ranch in the first place? Because that's quite a jump, going from I've decided to get into cannabis to like straight into Tyson Ranch. That's kind of a big deal.
So my background is in entertainment. I had graduated from film school and I was helping out at a few different production companies, and Mike was doing a health and wellness summit with a bunch of other professional athletes and sports teams, doctors, to talk about what cannabis does for them and its role in professional sports as an alternative to pharmaceuticals. And I was helping out on the entertainment side. And I met Kevin, our chief of cannabis operations, and he's an old school cannabis cultivator with 30 years of experience. And he realized I was a medical patient who had a lot of passion for the plant, and kind of took me under his wing and taught me a lot, and have been focusing on cannabis operations here in California with some really great partnerships, as well as expanding into Nevada and Massachusetts and some of these other states we have coming online too.
And so what were you doing before you got into Tyson Ranch?
I was always a medical cannabis patient in my personal life, but I was focusing on film. I had just graduated film school and I was working on at this production company. And that's what's great about Tyson Ranch, is that it's a good balance between the entertainment platform and a cannabis company as well.
Yeah, so I was actually just going to ask that. So what is the Tyson? A lot of people know the name Tyson Ranch, and of course there's the product line Tyson Ranch, but there's also a venue Tyson Ranch. So what is the difference between the venue or the entertainment side of things and then the product line?
Yeah, so out in Desert Hot Springs, Palm Springs, we have some property out there that's going to be the physical site of the ranch. And that's a big project in the making. Back in 2019, we did the Kind Music Festival where we had ASAP Ferg, Miguel, and some other awesome artists at a festival with cannabis consumption and alcohol sales, which was really awesome that the city of Desert Hot Springs was so open to that.
Very cool.
And so that's the real estate project, but that's a different team. My
Right.
real focus is in the cannabis operations, and we have some really great partnerships with cultivators here in California, Nevada, Massachusetts, and some other states that we're working to select specific genetics and working with cultivators that cultivate the quality of cannabis that Mike likes and wants to focus on quality control and using his platform to spread the message of what cannabis can do.
How much does Tyson Ranch actually involve himself with the growing of cannabis or the hands-on approach? I mean, I know a lot of people might assume that he's just basically licensing his name, but from what I understand and from what I personally, there's really a lot of involvement. He's really hands-on.
Exactly. That's what I love about Tyson Ranch. It's not a celebrity cannabis brand where Mike is just licensing his name and is hands off. He's very passionate about the plant and uses it every day. And so he's here in the office. I can show you around. We actually have a training gym in the background because as Mike got back into shape, he was fighting as well. But that's just to show that he's here in the office every day and is very passionate about the plant and likes to use his platform, like to go on places like Jimmy Kimmel and his podcast, and he went on Joe Rogan, is kind of spreading the message of what cannabis has done for him as an alternative to some of the things he was on following his fight career.
Yeah, really cool, really cool. I mean, he has a serious draw to the sport, to not, I'm sorry, from the sport. He has a really heavy draw to cannabis as well. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because again, I want to emphasize so much that this is not just a licensing deal where he's slapping his name on like a cologne or something. I mean, he's really involved in the cannabis, not just as a brand, but as a consumer and for health and wellness reasons. But where did that come from?
I think that it's just really helped him transition off of some pharmaceutical alternatives. And then there's also the issue with CTE and how cannabis has been shown to be a neuroprotectant. And so on the Health and Wellness Summit, we had a few NFL players and UFC fighters and people that take a lot of blows to the head and are really sharp and with it. And it's because cannabis is just something they use for inflammation or to relax and sleep, and just naturally provided them a neuroprotectant. And that's just kind of an added benefit and part of why Mike is passionate about the plant.
Right. It's sort of silly at some point to be prescribed, you know, sleeping pills and inflammatory pills and things for pain and things for, but for caustic plant to be illegal, or to say that you can't smoke weed the night before a fight to help you sleep, you'd rather take Ambien instead. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous as it is, but I think that some of the new laws that are lifting off of, from what I understand, the fight commission is decriminalizing smoking weed before fights.
I've seen some stuff about that, and I know some of the other sports leagues as well are not testing for cannabis or
Yeah.
allowing the athletes to use cannabis, which is a big step in the right direction.
Right.
And I think, especially with like the opiate epidemic,
Exactly.
with all these athletes being prescribed these pills that are just naturally toxic for their body and they naturally reject it, and cannabis is something they can are tending to gravitate towards, and it's nice that the leagues and commissions are allowing them to consume.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think, as long as you're not incapacitated when you're walking into the ring, there's nothing to say you can't smoke the night before in order to feel, to calm the nerves, to help you sleep, to ease the pain or whatever, reduce inflammation, all those things. So getting back to you guys. So what, can you tell me a little bit about the products you guys currently have? Where are you available? What states are you available in, first of all, and then what products do you provide?
We're currently available here in California and Nevada, and are going to be launching this September out in Massachusetts. And then we also are in discussions and finalizing a few other territories as well.
Very cool. So right now it's if you wanted to find a dispensary in Southern California, where are your main focuses? Like, do you have main dispensaries that you guys kind of promote more than others?
I wouldn't say promote more than others, but we like to find specific dispensaries in each location, and that's why we're not in every dispensary across the street from each other. We'd rather partner with the right dispensaries.
Right.
And one of those dispensaries is Empire Gardens in the Inland Empire, and we just did an exclusive product with them, Toad's Garden. That is a new cross of the Toad with OG. It's testing at a 36% THC. It's got a really nice gas terpene profile. And then we also have a bunch of other wonderful dispensaries you can check out on NUGL.
So what's the difference between the original Toad, the Northern Toad, and then the Southern Toad?
Yeah, so premium flower is really where we made a reputation for ourselves, and that was the strain, the Toad. Mike Tyson being a heavyweight, and as the recreational market is really looking to higher potency on the THC side, we found a pheno of GMO that was testing very high. It's at 36% THC, 43% total cannabinoids, and that's Girl Scout cookies crossed with ChemDog. And this is a much more balanced cross where you get the heavy effects from the Girl Scout cookies and some nice mind effects, kind of a psychedelic effect from the ChemDog. And that's the traditional one. And then we also had the Northern Toad, which took on more of the ChemDog characteristics. And so that's more of like a sativa dominant hybrid. And then the newest pheno of the Toad, excited to talk about, is the Southern Toad. And this is the same legendary lineage without the ChemDog and some other confidential genetics. And this is probably the strongest weed on earth. We had an R&D batch test at 42% THC and 50% total cannabinoids. I haven't seen anything else test as high as that, but it's consistently up there at 38, 36% THC. And it's also got a lovely terp profile. It's not just about the high THC.
And you smoked that personally?
Yeah.
Does it just knock you on your ass?
Yeah, it does. But I've got a trying to keep up with Mike. I've got a pretty high tolerance, so I can burn a few.
I would imagine. Okay, so what products existed when you first started at Tyson Ranch? What products existed now, and then how much have you guys expanded since then?
So yeah, we've really focused on premium eighths, and then as an expansion to the line, we brought on the tadpoles, which is the same premium flower, just smaller buds at a more affordable price, and that's smalls of the Toad. We also have pre-rolls, and we're getting ready to launch edibles and a few other new exciting SKUs as well. But we wanted to do what we did right before we did anything else, and that's why we really stuck with the top shelf and premium flower.
Do you guys have any plans to do anything more midline or lower grade? Not lower grade, but you know.
Oh, well, that's what we did with the tadpoles, is we're looking to do smalls at just the same flower at a more affordable price, just smaller buds. And then also there's a lot of wonderful benefits to sun-grown cannabis, just great terpene profiles, and it's really nice to smoke. And it's also a little more environmentally friendly and cost-effective. And so we're looking at a few sun-grown lines as well.
Oh, very cool. When do you prospect that coming out?
That's something we're still working on, and so when I have more dates, I look forward to giving you an update.
Absolutely, there's lots to come. I know that you guys have a lot coming up in your arsenal, so do we. So I know that we're going to be touching base quite frequently here. So the Southern Toad is available now, and if I wanted to go find it, I'm in Southern California. Are you at the El Segundo location right now? I see the background.
I am. I'm here at the office, sitting on the set of Hotboxing.
Very cool. Yeah, I was actually there a few months ago, I think back in March. Such a cool location. I mean, such a cool thing. And it was nonstop. I don't even know. There was like lucha libres coming in and out. There were like fighters coming in and out. There was MMA guys. You guys were filming at the same time. I mean, I couldn't imagine like how much stuff was happening just then. And I have no idea how often that happens, but it was so impressive. There was so much happening at the same time.
Yeah, it's never a dull day around the office with Mike training or doing podcasts. There's always really cool people coming in. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
What is that location? You're at the El Segundo location. What is that predominantly used for?
This is our corporate office. Everything from meetings to podcasts to when Mike was getting and when Mike is keeping in shape, he's training in here as well. So it's a multi-purpose space.
You have a fun space.
Yeah.
You have a very cool office to go to. So tell us about the partnership between Tyson Ranch and Empire Gardens Dispensary.
Empire Gardens has been a great dispensary for us. They have 2 locations, one in Paris, California, one in Moreno Valley. And when we were doing tests with different variants of the toad, it didn't make sense to only give every dispensary a few units. So we wanted to give the whole thing to Empire Gardens. And so that's a new exclusive product that you can only find there.
You can only find it there.
Yeah.
Well, shit, man. Yeah. We got to all get out to Empire Gardens now.
Yeah, it's a really wonderful dispensary.
So if you guys had one thing that's coming up in the line that you guys are kind of excited about, what are you looking forward to moving forward with Tyson Ranch?
I'm really excited about some of these new territories that as you travel around, it's often hard to find the same quality of cannabis that you know and love. And so that's what we're really working on, finding the best cultivation partners in every state to select the same genetics so you can have the product you are really familiar with wherever you are. And so the goal is to be everywhere, but one state at a time.
Tell us about your position at the company. I know that you started as the chief rolling officer, but obviously that has spiraled into a lot more. Like, what are you hands-on involved with right now? Because every time I talk to you, you're in a different location, you're traveling for something, always got a lot on your plate. You may have started as chief rolling officer, but what exactly are your duties and responsibilities now?
Mainly just general cannabis operations. I'm really hands-on here in California with a number of our cultivation partners and dispensary partners, as well as our partnerships in other states as well, where we have Redwood, a fantastic cultivation partner in Nevada, who supplies Planet 13, the biggest dispensary in the world, as well as some of these other territories. I'm always traveling around and working on expansion.
And do you have anything coming up in the works right now that you're particularly looking forward to in terms of expansion?
Yeah, I think Massachusetts is the market I'm super excited about. We're looking to do a soft launch potentially in August and with a hard launch in September. And we're going to be launching some really awesome pre-rolls and other products out there as well.
So you guys have, how many places do you have exclusive products to? Like, do you have other places that you do exclusive products besides Empire Gardens?
Yeah, we have an exclusivity with Planet 13, where we have the Undisputed 87 line, and that's more in line with Mike's fight branding. That's the red packaging with Mike and his fight attire, and that's a Powered by Tyson Ranch brand that we have as an exclusive in Planet 13.
Very cool. Very cool. And then where do you go for your weed? Like, if you have a place in Southern California, or do you just get it directly from Tyson Ranch? Because
I'm always going to different dispensaries. I know that Sherbinsky's on Fairfax is a great dispensary. I always love to stop by. And then the Originals in downtown LA. They're a wonderful dispensary, and we also have a great partnership with them, Tyson Ranch cultivated by the Originals. And that's we have the Knockout OG with them, which is personally, Mike and I will smoke almost more OG than the Toad and some of the other strains because it's such a good strain.
Okay, how much do you actually smoke, and how much do you smoke when you're with Mike? Because I bet you it's different.
It depends on the day. That there's some times where I'll have to have a meeting with Mike and some of the other team members where we have to try new strains. So we're smoking joints first thing in the morning. But it varies by the day.
That's amazing. Okay, how much does Mike actually smoke?
As much as you'll hand him, honestly. And I've never seen him turn a joint down. So if you just in my chief rolling officer days, if I would just keep him banging them out, he'd keep smoking them.
How long have you been with them?
About a little over 3 years now.
I feel like there's a lot that's changed in 3 years with Tyson Ranch.
Yeah, a lot has changed with the cannabis industry in general. That 3 years ago we were just transitioning to recreational cannabis here in California, and the last year cannabis went from an illegal business to an essential business,
Yeah.
with the lockdown. And so I think just with cannabis we've seen a lot happen in the last 3 years. And yeah, Tyson Ranch has definitely had a lot of growth in the last 3 years, and it's been a very exciting couple of years. It's crazy to think about the memories I have here, just because we're so busy. You tend not to look at what we did in the past, and there's some really cool things. So it's been a lot of fun.
How did COVID affect you guys?
Um, I think that in the cannabis industry, we were blessed to be deemed as an essential business. And that's where we wanted to be able to provide products to give people a little bit of, something to enjoy during tough times. And then in certain markets, it hit harder than others. Like in Las Vegas, there were no tourists, so sales were really slow. But I think in the cannabis industry, we were more blessed than other industries and other people that were directly affected. So
Yeah.
it's hard to kind of look at the last year as anything.
Yeah, for sure. I know from our perspective, at NUGL, it kind of allowed us to get in touch with our clients a little bit more, make new relationships, just in terms of slowing things down in general. It kind of gives you the opportunity to work in the background so that when you guys come back and things are fully open again, you're even more prepared. There's stronger relationships formed. So although it was a meek time in history for all of us, I do think that it allowed us to form relationships such as yourself,
Mm-hmm.
definitely met right in the middle of COVID. And since then, instead of both of us having to travel all the time and whatnot, you get the opportunity to really sort of get to know each other a little bit more and build stronger relationships with potential customers or potential clients or potential partnerships. And now that things are open, what do you have in store? Do you guys have any big plans coming up?
Yeah, we're going out to Champs. We have a partnership with Futurola. I started off as the chief rolling officer, but now you can get a Futurola roller, which is the new chief rolling officer. But so we're going out to Champs and to support our project with Futurola, and then we also want to stop by Planet 13 because they're one of our favorite dispensaries, and it's always good to stop by there.
Can you show that packaging again so we can get a screenshot?
Yeah.
Very cool.
And then on the back it says, "Meet your chief rolling officer."
Nice.
I think automated technology is coming for all of our jobs, and rolling joint was a cool gig while it lasted, but now I've got a lot more computer work to get to.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, like that. But I think all in all, it makes everybody sort of like raise the bar for, themselves. And no machine, no computer is ever going to be able to replace communication and forming connections and creativity. So we will always have that, so no matter what. So
Yeah.
all machines can take over rolling joints, but they'll never take over connections, creativity, and good vibes.
Yeah, and the computers can't smoke the joints for us, so that's what we can do is we can light one up and conversate and get together.
Absolutely. So the last thing I wanted to ask you basically, oh, what's up guys? I see a couple of my really good friends coming in. So as far as what's coming up next in the world, for Tyson Ranch, we have a partnership with NUGL coming up with Tyson Ranch, which is very exciting. Some big things being announced there pretty soon. I would give it a couple weeks, you guys, and we'll probably be touching base again to talk about some big things happening, which we cannot mention yet. Although I'm chomping at the bit to mention it, but I can't. But you guys have some stuff going on with Futurola, some expansion. I know that in terms of the venue, I think that we both wanted to get involved with possibly a concert series coming up, guys. We don't know yet. We don't know. I'm just kind of throwing stuff out there. But so where can we find you if we wanted to check you out? If somebody had a question for Daniel, and then if somebody had a question for Tyson Ranch, where do we get a hold of you guys?
Yeah, you can check us out on Instagram at Tyson Ranch Official, or my personal Instagram, the Chief Rolling Officer, or just Chief Rolling Officer. And then on TysonRanch.com, or if you want to shoot us an email at info@theranchcompanies.com.
Very cool. So thank you so much, Daniel. As soon as you guys have the next product coming up on the line, new packaging coming up, I would love to touch base with you, get you on here, show the new packaging, show the new product, maybe test the new product. I'm thinking if you're going to, I'm nearby, we can always do a walkthrough of the property, show us around a little bit, show NUGL what you guys got going on over there.
Sounds great. Well, the next one will be in person, and I'll have product samples for you.
Yay! Super excited about that. Awesome. Well, Daniel, thank you so much for being here. I cannot wait to touch base with you again, and I look forward to what's coming up.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, catching up with you and the opportunity to talk about what we have going on at Tyson Ranch.
Very cool. And to all of you out there in NUGL, I will see you next Friday at 4:20 and every Friday at 4:20 here on NUGL Official, only on IGTV Live. And watch out for the Green Rush coming up in studio very soon. Thank you, everybody out there. And thank you, Tyson Ranch.
Thanks, Jessica. And thanks, NUGL.